Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Rational Gooner. Apologies for my absence over the last few days. It's been pretty hectic where we are and I've been under the weather, shall we say. But I'm back now. Didn't do a preview for the Leverkusen second leg of the last 16. I didn't even do a review of that. So I will cover that in this video, but I'll also look forward and do a preview on the Carabao Cup final, which kicks off tomorrow, GMT or BST actually, I think it still is, 4:30 p.m. and ET, Eastern Time, which is what I'm going to be watching at. It will be midday, it'll be 12:30 p.m. for me, around lunchtime. So it's going to be an early few beers for me before that game. And I'm going to need them because I've seen so many Arsenal Cup finals down the years. But the issue I have with this one is because we've not been in a final for quite some time. The last being the FA Cup final in 2020. It's going to be a nerve-wracking affair for me and for all Gooners out there. City fans, they're used to it, and I can honestly say that actually puts them as favourites because the players, they've been over the line. They've done this before. These players, even though it's a Carabao Cup and it is our lowest priority, it's still going to be one of those games where we're gonna struggle to get rhythm during periods in the game, and we'll probably suffer for long periods of the game. But we do need to just take our chances when we get them. I'm going to start with Leverkusen though, and obviously the preview I can't do because we already know the result. Arsenal ended up winning 2-0 on Tuesday evening. What can I say about this game? I mean, the dust has settled, so I can go really off of no real emotion on this one. The first half, we were at a blistering pace. I don't think Leverkusen really got out much, and I don't think I remember Raya having much to do in that first half. On the flip side, the Leverkusen goalkeeper had an absolute worldie of a performance. He was keeping us out. I think Declan Rice had a free kick saved by him. There was a couple of chances that fell to Trossard. One of them, for all intents and purposes, was in the back of the net, and the keeper somehow managed to keep it out with his right leg. Saka had a good shot at him. The keeper made a good save. This was all before the first goal, which came on 36 minutes. And, Yanis Blažević, he is a fantastic goalkeeper. You could put Courtois in there. You could put David Raya in there. You could put a prime Ederson, Alisson, any goalkeeper, Donnarumma, add him to the list. Nobody is saving that shot from Eze. The ball came to him from Trossard. He was around 22 yards out. His first touch literally set it up beautifully. It bounced once, and on the swivel, he just unleashed the most unbelievable right foot shot. I think I heard Martin Keown saying that it was right out of the middle of the bat. And you know that sweet spot once you've hit it. When you play football, sometimes you know that it's going in before it's even kind of 2/3 of the way towards the goal. As soon as it leaves your foot, you know whether you've scored or not. And that's the feeling Eze will have got when he took that strike. It wasn't right in the corner. It didn't need to be right in the corner because it was so powerful that the goalkeeper dived, but the ball was behind him literally before both feet left the floor. That's how good it was, and that's how powerful it was. It was an absolute missile. Once in a lifetime kind of strike for most professional footballers. I think Eze definitely has it in him to do more in his career with Arsenal. And that just says something more about Eze when you know that there's more to come from him. So half-time whistle went. Happy as Larry, 2-1 up in the tie. First time we've led in the tie. Come out for the second half, and it was, again, vintage Arsenal. Professional, got the job done. We caught them out with trying to play it from the back again. They played a loose ball into the middle on 63 minutes. Declan Rice comes in like he always does, just steps in ahead of the midfielder, picks the ball up, one touch out of his feet, and he unleashes a beautiful right foot strike into the bottom right-hand corner. If you would have picked the ball up and placed it into that corner, it still wouldn't have been as perfectly placed as Declan did it. He started the ball outside of the post and it curled in. And that is so much more difficult to do when it's going along the floor than if you were to hit it in the air, as he did in those with those 2 free kicks in the infamous quarter-final against Real Madrid last season. So, 2-0. Declan Rice sends the stadium into raptures of joy, and Arteta's happy, we're happy, the crowd are happy. There's literally no more tension in the stadium, and Leverkusen, they're always going to come at us after we'd scored, and they will kick themselves that they didn't get at least a goal back when the ball came through from a very good move. In fact, probably the best move of the match, and Raya was equal to it with a superb stop, diving to his right, flicking it over the bar with his full stretch. And we got through to the end of the game. We had a couple of chances as well to make it 3, but overall 2-0, we're through, professional. And looking at the other results in the Champions League that week and also the week previous, to go through 3-1 on aggregate with a professional performance over 180 minutes is brilliant. It's I'd rather be in our position than any other British team or English team in the Champions League, as 4 of them went out. Manchester City fell to Real Madrid, Newcastle fell to Barcelona in spectacular style at the Camp Nou. Chelsea absolutely dominated by PSG, and Spurs, valiant effort at home, but ultimately in vain, and they went out as well. So it's just Arsenal and Liverpool left in the competition. That sets up a quarter-final against Sporting Lisbon. Unbelievably, really. They were 3-0 down from the first leg and ended up winning the tie 5-0 after 5-3, on aggregate. After extra time, they won 5-0. Potential opponents, if we get through the game against Sporting Lisbon, is either Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, so an all-Spanish affair there. And I fancy our chances over 2 legs against anyone. And I honestly think that we are one of the favourites to lift the trophy. I wouldn't say we're the outright favourite. I still think that Bayern Munich and Real Madrid look very dangerous on that side of the draw, as well as PSG and Liverpool. All 4 of them have won it before and know what they're doing in this competition. So not to be taken lightly. And obviously on our side of the draw, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and even Sporting, they've all got pedigree in this competition. So, it's all about being as professional as we were against Bayer Leverkusen, possibly coming out of going into another gear against Sporting Lisbon, just to show what we can do. That's enough on the Champions League front. We've already gone through nearly 10 minutes of this, so it is a preview for the Carabao Cup final, which is tomorrow. When I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to be very tense. I'm going to have that same tension that I get before a North London derby. Tottenham and Arsenal, North London derby, it doesn't matter how toilet Tottenham have been this season. It doesn't matter the position that we're in and the juxtaposition of where Spurs are in the table. Whenever we play against them, I will get nervous. And that is the same energy I'm going to get tomorrow against Man City. Yes, we've got a good record against City recently, but they are still Manchester City. And again, it's one of those games where you have to kind of just leave it in the players' hands. I'm gutted I can't be there at Wembley. I hope that the Gooners that all turn up tomorrow at Wembley have a brilliant day, and obviously it ends well for them as well. I've heard that there's going to be a lot of Gooners in the Man City end as well. They've really made an effort. Man City, they're used to this. They've been in finals, every season pretty much. So, their fans are not as it's not as big for the Manchester City fans. So I don't think that as many of them are going to turn up. It's going to be an Arsenal-dominated stadium, and I just hope that the scoreline is the right way. But yeah, I'm going to be very nervous. I will probably not speak to anybody until after the game. I'll probably go into a media lockdown of sorts. So All my socials will be switched off, like I do for most of our big games. Actually, I do turn the phone off and then come back on at half time, or and you know, I just think sometimes because people are streaming, and I will be streaming the game because I like to watch British coverage. So I'm going to be behind quite a lot of my mates who are back in the UK. So if I get some text from them about what's happening in the game and I haven't seen it yet, it's the most annoying thing. So that's one of the big reasons why I don't have my phone on whilst I'm watching the game. And it's going to be the main reason why I'm going to do it tomorrow. So looking at the teams that are going to be playing, Man City, I think that they're probably going to pick themselves, the team's going to pick itself on what the availability is. The big question is whether they're going to start Haaland or not. Haaland's not been in form, but he does seem to have our number whenever he plays us. He has scored against us this season already on a breakaway. He absolutely roasted Gabriel to score that goal. So I would be very shocked if he didn't start, but they do have better options there. That's absolutely ludicrous. They do have other options up top, but I do feel it's probably going to be him with Semenyo, Bernardo Silva, and possibly Marmoush either side of him. So I think they've already confirmed that Trafford's going to start in goal. I think that's a bit of a boost for us because Donnarumma against us is annoying when we play against him, even when he was playing for PSG against us. And I'll go even further and say when he's playing for Italy against England, I just get annoyed with the fact that he seems to reach everything. I remember our away leg against PSG last season where we were dominant for 30, 40 minutes, in the same way Chelsea were when they were there this season quite recently. But then ultimately they were undone. But for us, Donnarumma was just unbelievable in that first leg and kept us at arm's length, literally. So that's a bit of a boost for me. I'm quite optimistic if Trafford does start. So let's go through our team then. I am 99.9% sure that we will stick with Kepa in goal. He's our cup goalkeeper. But I honestly also think that the team that started against Leverkusen has a very good chance of starting against Manchester City. So that means Ben White at right back, Pierre-Emerick Hincapié at left back, Saliba and Gabriel the centre-backs, Martin Zubimendi, Eberechi Eze and Declan Rice are your three in the middle, with Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard either side of Victor Gyökeres. I think they all deserve that. Some of you may disagree because it's the Carabao Cup that we should stick with some of the youngsters that got us to that final. If you're in a cup final, you play your best 11, and that's what I think our best 11 currently is, and it's good for the momentum to be kept going. On the flip side of that, though, we do have players that have come back from injury and are training now. Martin Odegaard, our captain, is the big one. I can't see him starting, but I do see him coming on. He has been out of action for a lengthy spell now, so putting him straight into that cup final is not really a good idea, especially when we do have options there and adequate cover, and there's no real drop-off if we play as a... It's not like the final in 2017 when Per Mertesacker hadn't played a game all season, and then we were forced to play him in that final when Wenger started him next to Rob Holding in defence. It's not like that now. Our squad is not threadbare anymore. We don't have that soft underbelly, and we do have the depth. So I expect Odegaard to be on the bench. I also expect Calafiori to be back and to possibly be on the bench as well. And Eze, I think he picked up a knock in the week, but apparently he is available and he is going to play. The main key for me is going to be Declan Rice and Zubimendi. Those are the pivot players. Those are the two in the middle that need to control the game. We need to keep players like Doku quiet. We need to keep players like Bernardo Silva quiet. I just this is how tense I am about it. The reason I'm tense is because, yes, being an Arsenal fan, I have seen us in many cup finals in my lifetime, and I know that before my lifetime Arsenal have been akin to cup finals. We have a bulging trophy cabinet, but silverware has been very difficult to come by recently for us in particular, not just for us, but the rest of the league as well. There's only a few teams that seem to be picking trophies up. I know last season was a bit of an anomaly, with Newcastle and Crystal Palace winning the domestic cups. But generally, it's usually one of the big six that comes away with this cup, with the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup is usually won by one of them as well. Because it's been 6 years, that's where the tension is. We need to break our duck, and I think that this is the perfect opportunity to do it, and this is the perfect opportunity for us to stamp our authority over Manchester City and show just how far we've come under Arteta in the last few years. We've been a team in transition, but over the last 2 or 3 seasons we've been competing, but we've not got over the line. This is the opportunity to get over the line, and in my opinion, I think we will. I am confident that we will, but that confidence is laced with anxiety. It's laced with prior heartbreaks. I can remember a few European finals that we've gone into and thought, oh yeah, we've got a good chance of winning that. Galatasaray in 2000, Barcelona in 2006, and more recently Chelsea in the Europa League final, where we got thumped 4-1 in Baku. Domestic cups, though, at Wembley, we've got a good record, and I do think that should stand us in good stead. Arteta hasn't lost at Wembley as an Arsenal player. He's won 2 cups for us as a player, and he's taken us to an FA Cup final and won the Community Shield to kick off the 20-21 season as well. So we do have a good record at Wembley, and I do feel like that can play into our hands. We don't have far to travel. It's only across North London. So the omens are good, but that doesn't mean that it's a foregone conclusion. And again, it's Manchester City. They've been there. They've done that. They know what they're doing. Pep Guardiola's no mug. Pep Guardiola's won everything that there is to win as a Manchester City manager. But, with those charges over Manchester City's head, can we say that they were legitimate trophies? Of course we can. The players that were on the pitch did the job. So that's another argument for another day. So I think I'm going to wrap this up now, and I'm not going to do a score prediction. I never do. I think that's for other people to sort out. I'm not going to stick my neck out. I get splinters sat on this fence, but I'm also rational, and I prefer to stay anonymous in that regard. But I am quietly confident with a lot of tension before the game. And hopefully when I speak to you next, I'm going to be in a jubilant mood going into the international break. And I'm going to have to go because my dog is moaning at me. I don't know what's wrong with him. I've just taken him out for a pee and he's come back in and he's still moaning at me. I bet he's hungry, but he's already been fed. So I'm probably going to have to give him some attention other than that. One of these days I'll show some photos of him because he is the most gorgeous baby in the world. But that's not a football thing, so we're not going to do it today. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening, and please do put a comment onto this if you have anything to say. Other than that, thank you very much for your time, and I will see you on Sunday afternoon. Take care. Bye bye.